What if the real reason women feel drawn toward you has nothing to do with what you say, and everything to do with the silence you stand in? You spend years observing louder men dominate rooms, performing confidence through bravado, jokes, or flashy gestures. Yet somehow, without effort, you become the one she notices. Not the one she demands attention from, but the one she observes in curiosity, the man whose energy cannot be forced, bought, or borrowed. And whether you realize it or not, attraction often begins the moment a woman encounters a man who doesn't compete for it, yet somehow commands it with absolute stillness. You don't pull her in by performance. You don't win her with techniques or theatrics. You do it through a quiet force far more potent, subtle, and unsettling than she can articulate. A force that comes from a calm mind, a disciplined presence, and an unshakable inner life. You emit a gravitational pull that draws her without intention. And this is why most men fail to understand female psychology at its deepest level. Attraction rarely begins with action. It begins with existence. A woman doesn't respond to the noise you make. She responds to the gravity you radiate. Gravity is silent. Gravity doesn't demand. Gravity doesn't announce itself. Gravity simply is. And everything around it reshapes itself accordingly. You step into this gravitational center the moment your confidence stops being a facade and becomes an internalized truth, visible in your posture, in your gaze, in the calm cadence of your movements, and in the neutrality of your emotional energy. You've experienced this pull before. There are days when you stop seeking approval, stop reacting to social pressure, and simply inhabit your space. People respond differently. Women notice. They glance. They linger. Their curiosity sparks subtly, almost imperceptibly, because they sense something they can't define. A man who is unmoved by chaos. A man whose energy isn't contingent on their validation. And that curiosity, once triggered, is the seed of attraction. A woman's mind is exquisitely attuned to emotional landscapes. Your loudness can be rehearsed. Your jokes can be performed. Your stories can be tailored. But your quiet composure, your emotional sovereignty, cannot lie. It reveals the shape of your inner life before you utter a word. And she reads it instinctively. When you inhabit calm, your presence becomes a puzzle she cannot resist. She notices how your mood remains steady regardless of the room's energy. She observes how your reactions are measured, deliberate, unhurried. She wonders why your attention doesn't need chasing, why your emotional state is not contingent on approval, why you are content in your own company. She begins to project onto you, to imagine the depth of your mind, the logic behind your stillness, and the reasons you refuse to bend to external chaos. And in doing so, she creates a narrative around you, one that feeds her curiosity and deepens her attraction. Women don't fall for men they fully understand. They fall for men whose emotional world is structured, sovereign, and self-contained. Quiet confidence is not a void. It is a container, full of discipline, composure, and latent power. When you possess it, you are both approachable and untouchable. You are safe yet challenging, predictable yet mysterious. Your presence becomes the silent arena where her instincts measure, evaluate, and respond. The truth is sharper than most men realize. Attraction is not transactional. It is relational, instinctive, and profoundly psychological. Your quiet confidence is not simply being nice or being calm. It is a dynamic force. Every breath, every step, every pause communicates stability, competence, and authority. And she recognizes it instinctively, because her biology is wired to notice men who command themselves first, who act as if the world's approval is irrelevant, who operate from an unshakable center. Consider this. Women lean toward the man who cannot be swayed, who cannot be easily impressed, who cannot be easily understood. Your silence becomes a mirror for her impulses, her imagination, her curiosity. She projects desire, intrigue, and admiration onto that space because your presence awakens something ancient in her mind, the instinct to observe, evaluate, and reorient toward competence. And unlike performance-based confidence, which can feel manufactured, your quiet composure is impossible to fake. She feels it, she knows it, and she cannot ignore it. This is the paradox. The more you stop performing for her, the more she seeks to understand you. The more your energy remains anchored, the more gravitational it becomes. She notices what you don't advertise. She senses your limits without you stating them. She measures your standards without you explaining them. And as she does, she becomes invested in uncovering the man behind the stillness, a man who is self-contained, self-directed, and fully sovereign. Quiet confidence triggers something deep. A woman experiences safety in your presence, not safety born of compliance or predictability, but safety born of competence and control. Simultaneously, it awakens tension, curiosity, intrigue, and the urge to understand what she cannot fully map. Your presence demands reflection, awareness, and engagement from her, all while you remain detached, unobtrusive, and sovereign. Every man who has attempted to attract women through action alone misses this. They move, speak, and perform, yet fail to understand that it is their own equilibrium that draws her attention most. When you stand anchored, calm, and undisturbed, you become a force she can neither control nor predict. And that force is magnetic, instinctively compelling, and inescapably attractive. So recognize it. Attraction is not created. It is revealed. And what it reveals is you, a man who has mastered himself, who does not yield to chaos, who does not need affirmation, who stands quiet, full, and impenetrable. She doesn't respond to the gestures you perform. She responds to the world you carry within you. She feels the depth of your discipline, the steadiness of your mind, the weight of your presence. And in that reflection, her curiosity, respect, and desire awaken naturally, instinctively, and irreversibly. You have seen the men who try too hard, the ones who speak louder than the room, who exaggerate their charm, who chase approval as if it were air. They wear confidence like a costume, flashing it in moments when they are most insecure. And you have noticed how women respond to them. Momentary smiles, fleeting attention, but no lingering gravity. They respond to the action, not the man. Their energy does not orbit him. It simply touches the surface and moves on. Now, consider the man who does not need to perform. The man whose presence does not plead for recognition. He does not explain himself. He does not embellish his stories. He does not beg for laughter or approval. He moves through the world anchored, deliberate, and quiet. He is not reactive to noise, not dependent on applause. And it is in this quiet sovereignty that women sense the difference immediately, even if they cannot articulate it. This contrast is not subtle, it is seismic. Women's minds are built to detect strength, stability, and depth. When they encounter a man who performs constantly, they are unconsciously evaluating, asking, does he truly exist within himself? Or is he borrowing energy from the room? Their instincts reject the borrowed energy. But when they encounter a man whose calm presence is unshakable, whose silence carries weight, their instincts respond. Something deep, almost unconscious, shifts. Their curiosity is piqued, their attention lingers. And the attraction they feel is not cognitive, it is primal, instinctive, undeniable. The difference lies in how you manage the invisible currents of your energy. The loud man externalizes, seeking to shape the world to his comfort. The stoic man internalizes, shaping himself to the world's inevitable chaos, and in doing so, exudes authority without claiming it. This is a subtle but profound distinction. One man is driven by reaction, one by control. One demands attention, one compels it without trying. One creates noise, the other creates gravitational pull. Observe closely. Women notice stability more than style, intention more than motion, consistency more than excitement. She may flirt with the loud man, laugh at his jokes, respond to his gestures, but she will unconsciously measure the calm, composed man differently. She will sense the invisible boundaries he sets, the self-possession he maintains, and the unspoken rules that govern his energy. These are not rules she sees. They are rules she feels, as though every molecule of air around him vibrates with discipline and authority. And that vibration speaks directly to the subconscious evaluation system that drives attraction. You might think this is a subtle game, but it is not a game at all. It is a law of human interaction that operates beneath awareness. Women are wired to respond to energy, not words. They are calibrated to assess competence, control, and self-mastery long before they consider personality, appearance, or charm. When you embody quiet confidence, you are speaking to the deepest parts of her mind, the instinctive layers she cannot name, cannot rationalize, and cannot resist. Her curiosity manifests in ways that feel small and imperceptible at first. A lingering glance, a pause in conversation, a subtle tilt of the body toward you. Then it escalates, questions, engagement, subtle testing. She probes not because she doubts you, but because her mind is attempting to map what cannot be immediately defined. Your silence, your composure, your deliberate energy. These are signals that demand attention, reflection, and interpretation. And while she consciously believes she is deciding how she feels, the reality is that her subconscious is already arranging her emotions, priorities, and desire around your presence. You, as the stoic man, do not manipulate this. You simply exist within your own framework, unbothered by the need to influence outcomes. You do not perform for her interest. You merely allow your energy to be consistent, anchored, and full. And in that consistency, she experiences a paradox. The more you withdraw from overt effort, the more she is drawn to you. Her curiosity is activated not by motion, but by immovable presence. Her instinct is triggered not by pursuit, but by unyielding self-possession. And in this space, she begins to assign value to you that cannot be manufactured, explained, or claimed, only discovered. The psychology behind this is precise. When a man exudes quiet confidence, he triggers the evaluation loop within her mind. Her instincts measure his emotional autonomy, his capacity to withstand uncertainty, his ability to control desire without denying it. She begins to project onto him, imagining depth, strength, intelligence, and mastery, because the silence invites projection, and projection, in turn, generates emotional attachment. Her fascination grows not from the details he provides, but from the unseen world he inhabits within himself. At the same time, your presence becomes a mirror. She cannot help but reflect her own emotional state against your equilibrium. The moments of tension she senses are not challenges to you. They are prompts for self-reflection. She senses what is absent in her environment, what is stable in your energy, and what is controlled within your mind. Your quietness exposes the chaos in the room, and by contrast, it elevates you. She feels it, even if she cannot articulate it. The emotional gravity, the unspoken standards, the self-command, the untouchable composure. And this is the unseen power of stoic masculinity. It is not charm, persuasion, or even appearance that generates attraction. It is the mastery of self, the ability to inhabit your own world without requiring validation, the authority of a man who exists fully in the present, untouched by fear, need, or expectation. Women respond to these energies instinctively because evolution has programmed them to sense leadership, competence, and emotional sovereignty before it can be rationalized or explained. The average man cannot replicate this. He can mimic gestures, wear the right clothes, practice conversational skills, and learn charm. But he cannot manufacture gravitational presence. He cannot fake the stillness, the composure, or the authority that comes from internal mastery. That is why women are drawn to you when you stop performing, when you stop reacting, when you stand anchored, calm, and silent. You exist in a way that invites attention without effort. You compel her curiosity without trying. And in doing so, you activate the deepest layers of female attraction, the instinctive, neurological, psychological, and emotional systems that cannot be persuaded by performance, but only felt through authentic presence. In these moments, she is not evaluating your charm. She is experiencing your stability. She is not assessing your conversation. She is mapping your energy. She is not wondering if she likes you. She is unconsciously measuring whether your existence aligns with her subconscious criteria for safety, power, and leadership. Your quiet confidence becomes a silent curriculum for her instincts, teaching her about your value without a single word. And here lies the paradox. The more you cultivate this unshakable presence, the less effort you must exert to command respect, attention, and desire. The world around you becomes ordered not by force, but by the gravitational pull of your character, your discipline, and your emotional mastery. She senses it immediately. Others feel it too. And the quiet power you carry, invisible to those who chase noise, becomes the foundation for influence, attraction, and authority that cannot be replicated, challenged, or diminished. Now, step back and consider the deeper truth behind this silent pull. Your quiet confidence is more than a trait. It is a reflection of mastery over the internal world. Every thought unexamined, every reaction ungoverned, every impulse unrefined. These are chains that bind men to chaos, leaving women uncurious and unimpressed. When you command yourself, when your mind is calm and your energy deliberate, you become untouchable, inevitable, and unforgettable. This is the law of presence. It cannot be argued with, only observed. In this stillness lies paradoxical power. You do not need to persuade. You do not need to explain. You do not need to prove yourself. Yet women notice, instinctively, that something is different about you, something authoritative, something rare. They feel the solidity of your internal world, an energy that does not waver with mood, circumstance, or social expectation. It is here, in the immovable center of your being, that attraction quietly blossoms. She is drawn not by action but by constancy, not by words but by the shape of your mind, not by charm but by presence. Philosophically, this is the intersection of Stoicism and the timeless laws of human desire. Seneca taught that self-mastery is the highest form of freedom. Marcus Aurelius insisted that internal equilibrium dictates how the world perceives you. Epictetus reminded us that external circumstances are irrelevant to a man who governs himself. Combine this with the principles of female psychology: projection, instinctive evaluation, curiosity loops, and subconscious assessment of emotional autonomy, and you begin to understand why your quiet confidence exerts influence that no performance, charm, or display could replicate. This is your advantage. While other men chase attention, validation, or approval, you exist anchored. You move deliberately. You breathe deliberately. You command time and space without demanding them. And the paradox intensifies. The more self-contained you are, the more others are compelled to notice, to question, to engage. Women, in particular, feel the magnetic tension of a man who does not chase, but holds himself accountable internally. This is not manipulation, it is inevitability. It is natural law, not strategy. Now internalize this principle fully. She is not attracted to your words, your gestures, or your charm. She is drawn to the reality of your being, the solidity, the quiet depth, the unshakable control. These are the structures upon which desire forms. When you understand this, every interaction, every glance, every silence becomes a conduit for influence, curiosity, and connection. You no longer act from anxiety, need, or expectation. You act from truth, composure, and authority. And in doing so, you elevate yourself far beyond the performance-driven men who occupy the world around you. Her response is instinctive, layered, and cumulative. Every measured pause you take, every calm breath, every unreactive gaze is interpreted by her subconscious as competence, reliability, and mastery. She does not consciously calculate this, nor does she necessarily recognize it. But her emotions respond immediately. She feels your gravity, and her instinct bends toward it. Her curiosity deepens. her focus sharpens. And as you maintain your inner equilibrium, her psychological investment grows, organically, without coercion, without effort, without words. Consider for a moment the transformational potential of this realization. You are no longer bound to fleeting approval, superficial validation, or performative charm. You operate from a center that is independent, sovereign, and deliberate. Your confidence is quiet because it is authentic. Your presence is magnetic because it is grounded. And the women who encounter this energy are not simply impressed. They are drawn into an instinctive orbit they cannot escape. This is the effect of true Stoic mastery combined with the subtleties of female psychology, a force that transforms attention into attraction, presence into reverence, and stillness into influence. The climactic truth is this: when you exist fully within your own world, unmoved by expectation, indifferent to approval, and committed to mastery, you become a man who cannot be ignored. You are both the observer and the axis. She may smile, test, or challenge, but your energy remains constant. She may question, reflect, or wonder, but the pull you exert is undeniable. The tension you create is not artificial. It is a natural law of interaction, born from the alignment of internal control and external perception. And in this space, you become unforgettable. Finally, the echo of your presence mirrors the beginning of this journey. You stand not for attention, but for truth. You speak not for validation, but from authority. You move not for influence, but from alignment with your own internal order. And as she perceives this, she experiences a subtle yet profound transformation. She is drawn not merely to your confidence, but to the world you embody, the principles you live, and the gravity of your being. This is the hidden architecture of attraction. It is silent, invisible, and unassailable. And as you inhabit it fully, you come to understand a timeless principle. Women respond not to what you do, but to the measure of the man who stands in himself, unshaken, deliberate, and complete. Your quiet confidence is not a strategy, a technique, or a performance. It is a reflection of mastery, and mastery, when embodied, becomes magnetic, inevitable, and mythic.